Welcome to Story Scaling by podcastvideos.com, where creators share the truth behind the content, the grind, and the growth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and family, welcome back. I am Bang of podcastvideos.com, and this is Story Scaling. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. And I want to thank you all for just coming along on this journey. I would not be able to have these dialogues. I would not be able to even do what I'm doing if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much. And if there's anybody that you want to see, any topics that you want to discuss, make sure that you let me know. Today feels special. It feels like I feel like this community, specifically my podcast family, have watched and seen you for a long time, and you've come in the studio, and we've been able to celebrate you, from afar. So I want to first of all thank you for coming. Let the people know who you are.
I'm Henry Washington. I'm a real estate investor. I own a company called Independence Realty Group. That's typically where I do my investing out of, but I just a real estate guy, man.
Yeah, I love it, man. So I got a bio that I want to read, and this is what the streets are saying about it.
Oh, okay.
This is what the people are saying.
This is what the kids are talking about?
This is what the kids are talking about when it comes to Henry Washington, man. It says, today's guest is Henry Washington, an entrepreneur who turned a single life-changing moment of clarity into the blueprint for financial freedom and a massive national platform. Just a few years ago, Henry wasn't the face of real estate investing. He was working a standard corporate job when a sudden realization about his family's financial future forced him to draw a line in the sand completely and rewrite his reality. Fast forward to today, he is a powerhouse in the real estate world, a respected author, and a leading voice on BiggerPockets, the largest real estate investing platform on the planet. But what makes Henry the perfect guest for story scaling isn't just the impressive portfolio of properties he's built right here in Northwest Arkansas. It's how he leveraged his personal brand. Through his education, platforms, You at the Closing Table, he scaled his origin story into a massive community designed to help others build true generational wealth. He is absolute proof that when you combine raw authenticity, real-world receipts, and a genuine desire to serve others, your audience will find you. Ladies and gentlemen, Henry Washington.
That is probably the single greatest introduction/bio I've had to date. That was pretty cool, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Thank you. That's you, bro. I didn't have to do much. I didn't have to put no seasoning or nothing. When you hear this, and this is an abbreviated bio, I want to be very clear. I could have went on and on and on.
Yeah.
But when you hear this, what sticks out most to you?
Oh man, a lot. I don't know. This is all just the culmination of how my parents raised me, and the culmination of my belief and faith in God, to be able to be in the position that I'm in. I had no plans for this. This wasn't a part of some blueprint. But after I did my very first real estate deal, just for those who don't know the whole story, I had a panic attack about not being able to be financially sound and to be able to afford a life for my family, my new family at the time. To 90 days later, I owned my first real estate property. I knew nothing about real estate. I didn't have any money. I didn't have great credit, and was able to buy a house, rent that house out, and have that house pay for itself, and then pay us a little bit of money. And then I had access to a line of credit on that house for $30,000. And so to go from panicking about how to take care of my family financially to owning an asset that pays for itself, that pays me, and access to $30,000 to be able to continue to grow that portfolio. I remember that moment when we closed on a line of credit. I just remember feeling an overwhelming sense of responsibility. Yes, I was happy. Mm-hmm. Yes, I was grateful. But that wasn't the feeling I felt in the moment. The feeling I felt in the moment was there's no way that God opened all these doors just for me to figure out how to make money. That's not, I just don't believe that. Like I truly felt like there's got to be other people who are in a worse financial position than I was in, who have no idea that they're so much closer to being able to fix that issue, solve their problem than they know. So I just felt like I was led down this path so that I could show other people that it's possible for them. So like, that's the same day I started my social media account. Because in my brain at the time, the only thing I could think was like, I don't know how to show anybody what I'm doing. And I wasn't a professional at that time. So I was like, I'll just share my journey so that people can see what I'm doing and maybe they'll try to do it for themselves. So that's when I started my social media account, and I was just posting pictures about properties I was buying, just sharing information about what I was doing. Like I wasn't trying to teach anybody. I was just sharing what I was doing so that it would provide some level of exposure to like the 3 people that followed me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. As I continued to do that, things continued to escalate. I didn't plan for any of this, but to answer your question, it's when I hear that bio, I just think like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I feel like God exposed me to real estate, showed me there's a path because I'm supposed to show other people. And the more I do that, the more opportunities just seem to open up to me. And so I think that's what I hear. I just hear like, go what I'm supposed to go out there, but it's working out.
You have extremely well said, by the way. You have a very groundedness to yourself. It's always been there, whether I encounter you in person, even before I knew you, whether I'm looking at your social media, which one of the hardest things I think is for people who are really good online to translate that to in person.
That's fair.
Or people who are really good in person to translate that to online. But you have a way of remaining, like I said, just grounded and humble and personal.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you're a human, which that's the greatest compliment I could give somebody in 2026. Like
that's fair.
I feel like you're a real person.
That's
like,
fair.
So where does that come from? Like, has that always been there? Did you have to work on that?
No.
Like, where does that come from?
No. I think there's a lot to that answer. First of all, I mean, you know this better than anyone. It's a skill to be able to be comfortable and confident in front of a camera.
That's right.
Like no matter how comfortable and confident you are in real life, somebody puts a camera on you,
everything's different.
It just goes out the window.
That's
you
right.
forget how to talk. You forget how to look. You forget like what to do with your hands.
Absolutely.
Like it's so unnatural. So that's a learned skill that I've learned over time. But in terms of like just being grounded, a lot of that came, a lot of it I attribute to my wife and just her faith, trust, and honesty with me. Like I was pretty insecure prior to getting married. And trauma's trauma, right? We all got it, right? And so
absolutely.
There was a lot of insecurities I had just as a person, as a man, that she really helped shed a light on and work through. And a lot of people, a lot of women that I dated prior to dating her would kind of see some of those insecurities and just write me off. But she helped me work through them. She helped me see parts of me and things that I did that it gave me grace about it. Right? Like, so if I would lash out at her because of some insecurity that I had, she would kind of give me the grace and just kind of tell me, hey, like, I'm not your enemy. So maybe how you're picturing this isn't truly the intention, and just thinking through things differently. And just that growth over the years has allowed me to just be more unapologetically myself. Yeah. And be okay being unapologetic.
Probably some of the first time you ever heard some of that stuff, like, oh, wait, you ain't my enemy.
Right. Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah. Like, it's just right, wrong, or indifferent. We all just carry on traits from our parents. Some are great traits and some aren't. And you have to learn to unlearn some of those things. Yeah. And you have to learn to to keep some of the great things as a part of you. And so I would say just like I'm confidently who I am today. And just because of how she helped kind of shed a light on some of the things. And I just think I'm a better person now because of her.
Yeah. Shout out to the wifey. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Mrs. Washington out there. Man, tell me about your upbringing. Like, where you from? Where, you talk about how we are a combination of our parents. And, like, where do you come from, man? How'd you get here?
Oh, man. Well, I got here. Everybody gets here.
Yeah, fair.
But, so I'm from Bakersfield, California.
Okay.
California is a cool state. Bakersfield, California is not like the rest of California.
Okay.
I tell people Bakersfield, California is like the Arkansas of California. It's very blue collar. It's a red dot in the middle of a blue state. Like, it just doesn't fit the rest of the California motif.
Yeah.
Lots of, hardworking folks, oil field workers.
Sure.
And farmers and agriculture. It's a very blue collar community.
Geographically, where?
We like to say we're from Southern California,
okay.
But if you look at the map of California, we're just below the center.
Gotcha.
So it's 2 hours north of LA.
Okay, right on.
4 hours south of Sacramento.
Gotcha.
But my father was a high school art teacher, and my mother was the head of waste management for Kern County. County I'm from. And so both college educated, both the first in their families to be college educated.
Oh, wow.
So they really stress the value of education, especially in a place like Bakersfield, where like if you're going to make a lot of money in Bakersfield, you either are going to go work in the oil fields and work your tail off, or you got to have a degree.
Yeah.
And so and this was back when degrees were more important. They're still important.
Right.
They're just not as important. People see value in people now outside of a degree.
That's right.
Back then, 90s, 2000s, you didn't have a degree, people thought you were dumb.
They
they didn't want to talk to you. Which obviously people understand that's not the case. And so, and just people wouldn't give you an opportunity for it.
That's right.
If you didn't have a degree.
Yeah.
And so my parents were very focused on doing the traditional, go to school, get a degree, get a job, climb the corporate ladder. And so that was just hammered into my sister and I since we can remember. And so that's what I did. But there were things that happened. So again, my mother, Black woman, very blue collar, white town, was able to get a very prominent role that no Black woman ever had before. So I got to see like the challenges she went through from far. Like she shielded me from a lot.
Sure.
But I could still see it.
Yeah.
It was hard for her to get to where she got to. So I kind of saw that perseverance in her because everything around her didn't want her to be where she was, but she was going to get there no matter what.
I love that.
My father, I saw him teach and nurture people, and I would hear, he taught for so long that, people would come up to me and say, man, your dad was the best teacher I had. And it was art. So it wasn't like, people don't think of it as some core skill, but he wasn't teaching art. He was teaching life through art. And so he impacted people in ways that other teachers didn't get a chance to impact people because science is not, it's harder to touch people, like in a way, teaching math or science than teaching art. And so I would see grown men come up to me and be like, man, your dad was the best teacher I ever had. And now he's teaching, my kids. And that was cool to see. But my father was also an entrepreneur. He, teachers don't make much money to this day. Back then, salaries were even lower. And so he always had some side hustle or something to make extra money. And so like he he used to push around an ice cream cart and walk around the parks in the summertime.
Wow.
It gets hot in Bakersfield. It was like the desert.
Yeah.
So in the summertime, he would go, he bought this ice cream cart and he would take it in his truck down to the parks. He would just walk through the parks and sell ice cream out of his little push cart. He owned an arcade back in the day. As you look pretty young, you probably never been to an arcade. But
No, but
you used to have to go to a place to play video games.
Pac-Man, got the right card.
You didn't used to just be able to play them.
Right.
You had to go to a place.
I'm outside. I was outside. I was outside.
So he owned an arcade. And then he had several other businesses, but the main one was he had a barbecue restaurant. So he started a barbecue restaurant when I was in middle school.
My goodness. Serial entrepreneur.
Yeah. And
wow.
He ran that for 10 years. My father never talked to me about entrepreneurship. So like, he was never like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is how you set up your LLC. This is how you do your taxes. Like, we never talked about it.
Why do you think that was?
Because he wanted me to get a degree and go the corporate. He didn't want me to have to hustle on the side. Like that generation, that boomer generation, just saw value in education and corporate structure, right? Like that equaled success. And I get that, like,
right.
And it does for a lot of people, but that's what he wanted to do. He didn't want me to work as hard as he had to work.
Yeah.
But, through osmosis, right? I saw a lot of the lessons. I saw what he was doing. I didn't learn a lot of the lessons, like he didn't teach me those things, but by seeing him go through it gave me a sense of confidence in, like, when I decided I wanted to start a real estate investment business, I never thought, man, I wonder if I can do that. Like, it was never a challenge for me to a fear, because I saw my dad do so many side businesses. I'm like, yeah, you just start side hustling, do it, right? Like I had that confidence. I didn't realize this until well after. Like, a lot of people, as I started to teach people how to do this, I just saw a lot of fear in people starting in business. And I was like, we're not scared of. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like, they probably,
that's profound. That's profound. I got a friend of mine who, Black lady in Atlanta, she has an entertainment company. Yeah. She says, I grew up like with no point of reference of something that I couldn't do. Yeah. Because I saw Black scientists, I saw Black doctors, I saw Black, so I just didn't think I couldn't, you know what I mean? And so for you, I guess it makes sense the other way of like, you just didn't think that you couldn't do it. Like, he was like, I'm just going to figure it out. I
did it all the time. Like, if you wanted extra money, you was like, I'll just go do a thing and I'll make some extra money. So it wasn't like having a side hustle was never like a fear of mine. I was like, I just figured it out. Yeah. But that's true, because I've learned also just in education with real estate. I think the main lesson that we're talking about is like exposure is important. And if you boil that down even more, like who you choose to spend your time around lets you know what's possible. And so that's what.
Say that again. This a clip. Clip this. Hey, clip this for it. Yeah. Say that again.
Who you choose to be around lets you know what's possible. Like, so in the real estate world, most people start by buying a single family home. That's how they get started. And then they move on. Maybe they'll buy a duplex or a triplex, small multifamily. And then after they get their reps in, they'll go and they'll buy, maybe they'll move into large multifamily. Right. Big apartment building, because that's a big asset. Right. It's a lot of money. It's risky, right? When I kind of realized this, I had this epiphany that's what this is. I was interviewing a guy for the Bigger Pockets podcast. His very first real estate deal, he bought like a 200 and some unit apartment building. And we were just interviewing him. And I remember we asked him, I was like, well, what made you like do that first? Like,
that was the first one?
Build up to that. Like, how did you, like, what made you even think that was like the route you should go? And he was like, honestly, it's like, all my friends buy large apartment buildings. That's just what they do. He was like, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. And that's when it like dawned on me. And you're like exposure. Like, you're right. Who you're around, like if everybody you're around is doing a thing, you're probably going to do that thing, right? And people say this all the time with like fitness and health. Like, if everybody around you is out of shape, you're probably going to be out of shape. If everybody around you is running marathons, you're probably going to run a marathon, right? Like, and I was like, it's true. That's why my parents were so heavy on like they cared heavily about who my friends were and what my friends were doing and what they were into and who their parents were. And when I was growing up, I just thought it was nosy, but it wasn't nosy. It was like they knew that whoever I spent the most time around, that's the stuff I was going to be getting into. So they were very careful about who they allowed me to spend time around. And it's just, I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it now. So that's what I tell my students who I'm teaching how to invest in real estate. Like, if the 5 people you spend the most time around, none of them are doing real estate, it's going to be a whole lot harder for you to do this business, because they're going to think you're crazy. They're going to think you can't do this, and they're going to push all their fears onto you. But if those 5 people you spend the most time around are out here doing deals and growing a real estate business, they're going to be like, hey, come on, this is what we need to be focused on. Like, it'll make it so much easier for you to do things that you don't think you can do because everybody else around you is doing it.
Yeah. I gotta let that breathe, bro. I gotta sit. I just gotta sizzle a little bit. They say, is it if you show me your 5 closest friends, they'll tell you where you'll be.
Exactly.
It's the same
Very,
thing.
very same thing. Yeah.
So you start to gradually build, and it's cool because when did you start your social media? Like, when did you say you started even just showing what you were buying?
2017.
We're talking almost a decade.
Yeah.
And so at that time, you were doing what they are now saying you should do. Like, I think social media has gone through a weird phase, because at first it was like, you need to show the most polished.
Yeah. Yeah.
It need to be your portfolio. Like, it need to be perfect. Yeah. And then we did that for a while, and everybody got messed up, because it's like, wait a second, now we expect perfection, and we don't see and so now it's moving more towards being vulnerable and being open, and like, I tried this deal, it didn't work out, we're going to try again.
Yeah.
And so I feel like you had a level of transparency even back then where you were just bringing people along in the journey. And so now you fast forward to, like I said, you've grown to one of the most credible voices in the space, is what I would consider, and that's not easy, obviously, right? Like, so talk about that. Like, talk about the journey from not even knowing what you're doing. Like you said, I'm going to post this for 3 people.
Yeah.
Right. So now it's hundreds of thousands. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a whole lot more than 3 people.
What did you learn? What did that teach you? How did you?
Yeah. So again, I started sharing my journey just because I wanted to provide people exposure to something that they may not understand. I still do that. I just do it from a more educational standpoint now. I think if you're going to talk about a subject, if you don't have experience in that subject, I feel like it's totally fair to talk about it, but you need to talk about it from a perspective of, like, I'm sharing with you what I'm doing. I'm not telling you have to go do what I'm doing. I'm not telling you what I'm doing is the right thing to do. I'm just sharing my journey. And I think anybody who's doing something that they think is of value should share their journey, but you just have to be authentic with it. You share the wins, share the losses, like, so that people can truly see what you're doing. Then at some point, if you do a thing long enough, you become, in air quotes, expert in that thing. And then you can pivot to, like, teaching, once you have some credibility, once you have some notches in your belt, right? Then you can educate. So I think people who are probably genuinely good people who should be sharing their journey probably don't, because they don't feel like they're an expert, or they're scared of what people might say about what they're doing. And then I feel like there's people who probably shouldn't be sharing a damn thing about what they're doing, get up on a platform and share their experience to try to teach people. But what I learned through that is, like, you can tell. Like, when you see someone who's not genuine or doesn't feel genuine, you feel it. Yeah. And so I've just always wanted to share my content from a space of, like, I'm just going to be genuine. I'm just going to be me. And, I share wins, share losses. Because no one's batting 1,000 out here in real estate. Yeah. If they say they are, they're lying to you. And I think that's what makes it easier for me to stay consistent. Do I have, like, the algorithm changes, and what people want changes based on a million things, right? Which I could talk about forever. But I think COVID changed the content game. And then that flooded the market with creators because everybody was at home bored. And then what people expected out of content has just evolved because of that. And so now, like, there's a formula you can follow to get you more likes and views, and that's awesome. But for me, I just kind of continue to share my way. And sometimes that means I get, a couple thousand views, and sometimes it means I get, 50,000.
Right.
It really, that's not the most important thing to me. The most important thing to me is that I just continue to share what I'm doing, continue to show people that this is something that they can do, and have a place out there in the ethos where I do that for free. Right now, that's Instagram.
There's something that you do that I think in and of itself is noteworthy. First thing is you already knew your why.
Yeah.
So you didn't get into this like trying to be the biggest or trying to be the most credible. Like you literally were like, okay, I've been given some wisdom, some insight, some knowledge. I want to put that back out there.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize this, but it's hard for people to be genuine, especially when you got the camera on. Even when you pull this out and it's like, oh, now all of a sudden I gotta, hey, you got, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, what's up? You got to switch it. You know what I mean? And so for you, even that genuineness is now something that people are having to relearn how to be genuine. You know what I mean? And so I guess what I'm asking for you is just insight, or what would your perspective be on, like, how do you even define that why that everything funnels back for you? It's not make or break if the video get 5,000 views. It's not make or break if it get 50,000, because that really ain't why you're doing it.
The point is just to share it with people.
Yeah.
Whoever's supposed to see it is going to see it. Like, I'll leave that up to God. Like, I'm going to put it out there. Whoever's supposed to see it is going to see it. Do I want more views on videos? Sure. Yeah, that's awesome. I want to reach as many people as possible, but I'm not chasing that.
Yeah.
And if it tomorrow, they change the algorithm and, I could only get 2 views per video, I'm still going to put the videos out because I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. So, yeah, I would think about it from this perspective. If you're considering making content, think about, be honest with yourself. Why do you want to make content? Like, ask yourself, because it's not fun. Like, I don't know who, like, let me say it differently. Doing it consistently
is work.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like, doing a couple videos here and there, yeah, you can have a great time with it. Yeah. Super fun. But you're not going to grow. It's just, so like.
And talk about that, because the level that you do it specifically, pardon the interjection, like, it is work. Like, you are posting daily, multiple times a day, different types of content. Like, so even talk about that. Like, people look at Henry Washington and it's like, oh, you probably just did this today, and like you just throwing some stuff out. Like, talk about the part that we don't really see.
Consistency on social media is hard. It's work. Like, if you want your videos to do well, there's research that has to happen. You have to understand what questions your audience is asking, and then like, how can you answer those questions, but how can you do it in your way, not the same way somebody else does it? Because just because somebody else does it one way, like, if I try that same thing, it may not hit the same. I'm not that person. So how do you give your audience what they're asking for in a way that's genuinely you? And how do you do it consistently, day in and day out? Like, that's work.
How do you know who your audience is? How do you know what they want? Like, even before you get to, you know what I mean?
Work. Yeah. So like, if you really want to get into this space, you have to ask yourself why you're doing it, right? Some people do it because of why I'm doing it, right? Because they feel responsible. They feel like they're supposed to help people. Some people do it because it brings them value to their business, right? Maybe it brings them customers. Maybe it brings them money that they can use, because other real estate investors create content because it creates brand awareness, and then people want to give them money to invest. Right? So, like, be honest. It's okay to have selfish wants. Like, you should just be honest with yourself. And then once you understand that why, then like, think about, how much are you willing to sacrifice in order for you to reach that why, right? Because it's going to take time. It's going to take effort. You're going to have to, like, unfortunately for enough, people can't see, but my content manager is sitting right here in the room with me. Before I had her, I had to do it all. And it was like, I'm creating a video, right, in my house, and, my wife is there and my kids are there, and they might need something in that moment. And like, you're having to sacrifice some of those things, time with the family. And so like, ask yourself, like, how much am I willing to give up for this? Like, is it that important before you dive into creating content? Because the biggest benefit I can tell you from social media is like, just consistency. And the best way to build a brand is that, like, just need to be in people's face all the time. And if you're not going to be consistent, or if your why is simply just, I want people to see me, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
Right. It's got to be bigger than that. It's got to have some motivation outside of just, I want to be popular.
Good.
And it's okay if your motivation is, I want to make money. I would just dive into what that means. Like, how do you want to make money?
Right.
Do you want to generate income that you can use in your investing business?
Mm-hmm.
Partner with people? Like, that's a cool want. Then maybe you don't have to be as consistent, but it just will help you understand like how much time and effort you need to put in. But I tell people who ask me all the time, man, hey, I want to teach people how to do real estate. And so I want to start with content. And I would tell you, you probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't. Like, I don't make content online because I want to make money as a real estate coach. I make content online because I want to help people.
Right.
And because I want to help people and they see my content and the value I bring for free, there's going to be a subset of those people who see the content that I produce for free, and they're going to come to you and they're going to say, how do I learn more from you?
Why?
Right. And then I have something for them that is more structured that they can learn from me, but there's a paywall. It's going to cost you money. Right.
Yeah.
And so there's always a subset of people who see what you put out for free and they want to learn more from you. And if you don't have something for them, they're going to go spend money somewhere else and to give it to them. So I think if you're going to teach people, you've got to genuinely want to do it for free. Like if I stopped having paid coaching tomorrow, I would still put out the information for free. What I do on social media is not because I make money as a coach. I make money as a coach because I put the information out on social media.
Well, and you did it before you were making money.
Yeah.
So we can vouch for you. You know what I mean? Like, how do you know when you are in that place of now you can teach? Like, you talk about you need some notches on your belt. Because now everybody's an expert. And like you said, sometimes literally other than that intuitive, something feels funny. You don't know. I mean, they got the lights in the Rolls Royce and they got the,
you think they do.
They got the rented, you know what I mean? They got to get the back after but they're showing us this image and they're showing us. And so, whether that comes from discerning what we're watching or for you, maybe you have been doing music for 10 years and you got something to say, but you were afraid, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe you've been doing music for 10 days and now you think you're the guru. Like for you, what would you say? How do you know?
With real estate, it's interesting because there's no, like, as an investor, there's no like certification. It's like, hey, I am now an investor, because as long as you do a deal, you're an investor. And so I would say, I would say you can teach people how to do this if you own some properties or have done deals in the past 5 years consistently, right? Like I would I didn't really pivot to like teaching people how to do this until it was. Here's where it happened for me. So I was putting the free content out. And I just had a small social media following. And then at one point, started to, I did a few thousand followers, not less than 10. And people would start asking me for my advice. And that's when I realized people started to see me as an authority.
Oh, wow.
And when they were asking me for advice, what I would do is I would always say a disclaimer like, hey, I've only been doing this for a couple of years, so I don't know if my advice is the right advice. I'll just tell you what I would do in this situation. And what I would do in this situation may not be what you should do.
Right.
Like we got different financial backgrounds. We got different markets. Like things can be completely different for you.
So you weren't even looking to teach. People were asking you when you were like, oh, wait, if everybody keeps it. Yeah. Wow.
And then as the more, popular I got on social media, the more people would ask me for help. And I would just try to help everybody I could. So I was answering DMs, just helping people in any way I could. Again, with the disclaimer, like, hey, I can't. Like, and I'll be honest with people, like if I didn't feel comfortable answering their question or if it didn't make sense, I'd say, I'm not the guy to ask this question. But the more popular I get, the more demand there was for that. And so what I had to start doing was I had to create a boundary because I couldn't help everybody. It got to a point where I just couldn't help the amount of people that wanted me to help them. And so the boundary I created was I'd say, hey, I'll help you, but you're going to pay me. But I didn't make it some like most people were charging $300, $400, $500 for a 30-minute call. I would say, look, give me $25 and I'll help you.
$25
for a 30-minute call, right? The money wasn't the point. Like I wasn't trying to make a bunch of money. It was just, I need it to be enough that you're going to think about it so that when we spend time on the call,
I know you're serious.
I know you care enough that you put some money up and that you're not going to waste my time and effort. So it was just a boundary. It wasn't to make a bunch of money. And people would pay it all the time. Then I would, as long as they were willing to, put some skin in the game, spend some time with you on the phone and I'll talk through it. And then what happened was a couple of things. I got off one of the calls one time and my wife saw me and she was like why do you sound bummed? And I was like, well, I keep having these calls and everybody asks me the same questions and I spend my time and effort giving them the answer and then no one does anything with the information. And she was like, maybe, well, why don't you just like record yourself giving those answers? And then when people reach out for help, just send them that recording. Oh, it's a great idea. And so I did. Like the questions I got the most were, how do I find deals? And how do I find money for the deals? So those are the two main questions. So I just created like a video series on like, here's how you can find great deals. Here's how I'm finding money for these deals.
Yeah.
And what I was doing at the time was creating a course. I didn't know I was creating a course, but that's what I was doing.
Literally.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I did that. I created essentially like a short course that talked about those things. And instead of doing the one-on-ones, I put those courses out there. And so instead of me coaching them for 30 minutes, I would just say, pay $25 and you can have the course. Here's the answers that you're looking for anyway. And we sold a ton of those.
Really?
Like it was just unintentional. Like, and people would, like other influencers at the time would like fuss at me because I wasn't charging.
Giving it away. You're giving that away.
Yeah, why aren't you charging more? You could be making so much more.
It costs more than $25. I got that shit for free. Like, it's a barbecue.
Right. So I just, it wasn't about the money. It's never really been about the money. So I'd give it away cheap. Now those STEM courses are still out there. They're out there for pay what you want. Like if someone wants to go pay I think I set the minimum at like $8 or $9. Like as long as you're willing to pay $8 or $9, those courses are still out there. People can go buy them today. Pay what you want.
Are you for the people?
Yeah, they're still out there.
Either you for the people or you're a terrible businessman.
Yeah, probably both.
Maybe a little bit of
probably both. Yeah, yeah, probably both. But yeah, that's the kind of like the moment I realized, okay, like people want help.
Yeah.
I want to be able to have a place where they can get the help.
What's the time frame on this? 5 years.
This was 2019. Was that it? When did you start?
2022.
2022. So I started selling the courses probably in 2020-ish, probably.
Wow.
Yeah, COVID.
Yeah.
That's when I created them. Yeah. Because we had just moved into our house. So 2020.
Shout out to Cassandra.
Yeah.
Maybe we put like a little icon in your face, right?
Yeah. 2020.
When you look back at the journey, it's also refreshing talking to you because, like I said, what you see is what you get. Like you can tell based off how you do content that it's not a money grab for you. Like you're not gonna retire from social media.
No.
And we as followers, consumers, people who keep up with your journey, we know that. Like we don't feel, you can see content and tell if you're the product. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can tell if you transacting with this person is their bottom line.
Yeah,
you really can't tell. You know what I mean? But for you, it's never really been there. And so like there's this element that you bring to the table of consistency and transparency and genuineness. And like I said, things that now, I mean, there need to be a course on those things on how to be, and so a person right now starting from ground zero.
Yeah.
They want to do real estate.
Yeah.
They want to open up a bakery, whatever.
Yeah.
But they want to start making content consistently.
Yeah.
Give us a 3-step framework to from nothing. Like I don't got nothing out there. I'm Henry in 2017. I just want to start. Like, what do you say? Like most important things to keep in mind? Here's 3 of them. Go action steps.
Yeah, I think the most genuine way to do it and the most least stressful way to do it is to realize like you already make content every day. If you have a business and you want to get it out there, like you are the content. There's just no camera on you. So the easiest way to start sharing what you're doing is just to get somebody like Cassandra, and you don't have to pay somebody full time, but you can hire freelancers.
Yeah.
You can set up your phone on a tripod, right? Like
you said, it's all content.
It's all content.
Yeah.
Just you're doing it. If you have a bakery, you bake. Turn the camera on, right? And do what you do. You don't have to talk to the camera.
Yeah.
You ain't got to look at the camera. Just turn it on while you're doing your thing. And then, and I would like, that would be the first thing is don't worry about editing it. Don't worry about scripting something. Just whatever you're doing, turn the camera on and capture it. And then you can figure out later how you want to edit it and like what you want to produce. But I mean, there's a girl I'm friends with now, but I started following her on social media a long time in real estate. Like she got super popular just by like, cause she did a lot of DIY projects. You know, what she would do is just do the not stop motion, but the time lapse.
Yeah.
So she would just turn the camera on and she would like do a project. And it was just a time lapse video of her doing these projects. And like, that's how she became super popular on social media because she was just sharing what she was doing.
No trendy dances. She didn't have to do like
she didn't have to do none of that. She just did what she was doing, but she did it in front of the camera. So I'd say the easiest thing to do for anybody in any business you're trying to get out there is just turn the camera on, capture the content, try to figure out how you want to edit it later. But like you are the content. That's good. People want to see what you're doing. So share that. And then you could figure out like, because content needs to be genuinely you.
Right.
So like if you're trying to figure out like you know, how you want to portray a certain thing to people, like you'll lose your mind trying to figure out maybe I want to do it like this person. Don't do that. Just capture yourself doing it. Start posting what you're doing out there and then let your audience tell you what they want from you.
Yeah.
Right. Like listen to the comments and the feedback, engage with people in the comments. Right. And then sure, yeah, like you might see some trends or something or somebody do a video that you're like, oh yeah, I could do that. Like that's odd. And if it's genuinely you, like do that.
Do it.
But like you'll bang your head against your wall trying to figure out like how to put yourself out there. Just turn the camera on, do your do, edit it, post it out there.
You be dropping gems. Like you just said, if you got to think about something that you just said like this, but you likely already on the wrong track. Like if you thinking about, oh, what should I do? Like you're probably going down the wrong path. Like just turn the camera on and do what's natural.
Yeah. I had a moment this morning where, so I hosted a real estate meetup and last night we had one of our monthly meetups and somebody asked a question and I answered the question and I mean, pat yourself on the back. I gave a great answer.
Right.
And I was like, that's content. Like that is a real. And like sometimes when I sit down to like record content, I can't think of what I want to say to people or how I want to say it to people.
Yeah.
But like when I'm just talking,
you're in the flow state,
I'm cooking.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, that was like cooking. Like that's my content. Like that's what, and some of my best content hasn't been me sitting in front of a camera.
Right.
It's been just me having a conversation with other investors. Those are my best content. So I just, in my epiphany moment last night, I was like, I got to stop worrying so much about curated content and we need more organic content, or I need to take notes about when I'm speaking to people about what sounds good or what hits with people and then recreate that in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And that's good. Just cook.
So step one, turn the camera on.
Don't worry about how it's going to be edited and starting and stopping the camera. Like, cause I think that's what overwhelms people when they first get started is they think of a concept and then they sit down and try to create this concept and then like record and then they say it and then stop. And like that, you'll never get anywhere.
Yeah.
Just like if you're a baker, turn the camera on while you're baking.
Yeah.
If you're a real estate investor, just have your phone with you while you're walking the property or talking to your contractors, right? Just if you're a reefer, like just
Anything.
turn the camera on while you're talking to somebody about their new roof or while you're putting the roof on the house. Like just turn the camera on, hit record, don't hit stop, let it record. You just, at worst case scenario, you just got raw video of you doing what you do. You can hire an editor if you just get so overwhelmed and say, hey, I'm a roofer. This is a video of me doing a roof. I don't know how to put that on social media.
Yeah.
Give me some ideas, chop it up and give me something.
Yeah.
Right. Like you ain't even gotta do that part.
You could ask ChatGPT at this point.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's AI tools that'll just chop that up for you. Just capture it.
Yeah.
And then put it out there. That's the hardest part, is hidden.
Step number 2, put it out there.
Step number 2, post it.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
What if I don't got no caption?
So
Post it.
Post it. Yeah.
What if I don't know who gonna see this? Don't matter.
Post it.
What if they talk bad about me?
They're gonna.
Post it.
Post it anyway.
Great.
They're gonna talk bad about you. That's okay. That's okay. You show me anybody successful that don't have some haters.
Right.
That's okay. Post it anyway. That's why your why's got to be bigger than your reason. Because, it's going to be, and it's going to happen. People are going to talk bad about you. Your friends and family are going to look at it, and that's stupid.
Yeah.
Wasting your time doing that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's okay. My best connections in this industry, my best friends in this industry are all strangers who saw me online. The people I know that are like closest to me, like, let me say that differently. I have some great close friends who support my business. Yeah. Absolutely. But like the normal acquaintances that you see every day.
You going somewhere here, yeah.
They don't support my business.
Yeah.
They were never going to support my business. It's not for them. Like, God asked me to put this out there for other people, which means that there are strangers that I don't know, who I may never know, who are depending on me to put out the information I'm supposed to put out. So it doesn't matter what your cousins think. It doesn't matter what your aunts and uncles think. Sure, your mama, your daddy, your wife, those people are important. But everybody else, who cares? It's not for them.
Break this down a little bit. I seen a video yesterday of this guy saying, you're trying to garner the support of the people that's closest to you, and you shouldn't.
You should.
Your world, the world is your market. Like he literally said what you just said. There are strangers who are waiting on your content, who are waiting on your music, and who are going to support you sustainably. Like people you don't even know.
You don't know.
So why do we kind of have this mindset that like, oh, my friends ain't supporting me, like I'm done, or my friends ain't supporting me, I ain't doing right, I'm finna stop. Like, how do we get over that?
Well, getting over it's hard. But like the people in your network, like your business isn't for them, right? What you're producing is not for them. What you're producing is for somebody you may never get a chance to know. And so it's kind of like twofold. Like if you have a business, whatever product or service that you're selling, you're going to sell it to people you don't know. Like that's where you make money.
Right.
You're not going to make $1 million selling t-shirts to your friends.
Right.
A, there ain't enough of them. B, they don't care, right? They may not be your target audience.
Right.
But there's a world full of people who want your product or service. And right now, fortunately, like social media gives us a way to reach those people. Before social media, it was hard to reach those people. It cost a lot of money to get on TV.
A lot.
Right? Like you had to be very rich or know some very important people to get your product in front of people.
Or hit the road.
Hit the road, right.
Your car.
Pop the trunk, hit the road, right? But now you get to get in front of people almost for free, right? And so who cares what they think? So it's hard, but you got to develop some level of thick skin because people are going to tell you that you shouldn't be doing it. People are going to tell you that you're a clown for doing it. People are going to tell you that you're a sellout. People are going to tell you that what you're doing is risky and you're going to lose all your money. But what you have to realize is a couple of things. The people who are closest to you who are telling you that, other than like I said, your wife, you're like those people you should listen to because they have your best interest at heart.
Right.
For everybody else, for everybody else, and even sometimes it's the people closest to you, you have to understand that they will force their fears on you. They will force their fear and negativity on you. They're scared for themselves, and then they don't think they can do something, so they worry about you.
Right.
You can't do it. You can't let that happen. Like, fortunately for me, I knew pretty early on that I was supposed to share this.
Yeah.
So when somebody told me I shouldn't, didn't matter.
Right.
There was one time where somebody told me I shouldn't, and I took it a little too seriously, and my wife checked me.
Oh, wow.
And my wife checked me and said, no, you said you were supposed to do this. You said God told you were supposed to do this, so you need to go do it. And I was like, you're right. You're absolutely right. But I almost quit before I started.
Wow.
So like, here's another thing I try to put it in other words. Like, a business is about creating a product or a service that solves a problem, and then putting that product or service out to people. So if you truly care about your product or service, or you truly care about your why around your product or your service, then you need to put it out there, because there is somebody who doesn't know you who's depending on you to do it. I don't feel like God calls us to be entrepreneurs or own businesses so that we can be wealthy. He calls us to do it so that we can provide whatever we need to provide for somebody else for whatever reason we're supposed to provide it to them. Or sometimes we're fortunate enough and lucky enough that we get to know why that reason is. Sometimes we
might never know.
Might never know. But if you're called to do it, you're supposed to do it. And one of the best parts for me about real estate investing is, like, there are so many people that are impacted by me doing a real estate deal. And it took me a while to realize this, but every time I do a real estate deal, I impact many people's lives.
Oh, yeah.
So as an example, how many people do you think make money for their business because I decided to do one real estate deal?
Yeah.
Just what's your guess? How many people or businesses are impacted by my one real estate deal?
I'm going to say like 10.
10. That's a fair guess.
Yeah.
I have a slide that I do this where I teach people this. It's about 60 people on average.
My goodness.
Who are impacted. There's real estate agents, there's title companies, there's plumbers, electricians, contractors, subcontractors, there's lenders, there's transaction coordinators. There's so many
inspectors.
It
goes on and on. Wow.
Just one real estate deal. All these people generate income for their business, feed their families, because I decided to do one real estate deal. And that's when it dawned on me that none of this has ever been for me. Really, none of this has ever been for me. I was called to do this because there are literally people all over the country and in my backyard and in my community who are depending on me to do this. If I don't do this, it's one less customer for them. It's one less person that comes through their doors and puts money on their table. Like, wealth isn't about us. It's not about me. Do I get to use the wealth while I have it? Sure. Do I get to have it positively impact my family while I have it? Yes. But it's not for me. The money that I make, the wealth that I'm building, is for me to impact other people. And I think when you see stories of people who accumulated wealth and then lost it, typically what you see is somebody who got so focused on making money for themselves and not focused on who they're supposed to impact with that wealth. I think we're called to be stewards of wealth. And the more good stewards you are, the more you're going to be blessed with. And the more selfish you are, they'll take it from you. So, like, none of this is ever for me. And it took a lot for me to realize. I mean, I learned that, like, when I first got started, but it's so much bigger than that. It's so much bigger than I'm just supposed to share my journey. Yeah, I'm supposed to share my journey, but everything I have, everything I've done in real estate has all been because I'm supposed to help other people. None of it's for me. And that realization has just always kept me grounded.
You've spoken about something that's been a through line. It's this concept that you were called to do this.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very interesting choice of words.
Yeah.
I like you, come from great parents, grandparents that were heavily influenced in my life.
Yeah.
my grandmother's a pastor of 40 years, still pastoring to this day. And like something she taught me at, 5, 6, 7, 8 was this idea you're called. Like God gave you certain skills and gifts that you didn't earn. Gave them to you to fulfill this calling. Spent early years like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't like it. I don't like the attention. You know what I mean? Like at a really young age, I was aware of the burden of blessing and like the pressure that comes with being someone who, you know, and so she says, you don't get to choose what gift you got. You just get to choose if you surrender to the call. Like you get, you know what I mean? And so for you, every time I hear you talking about this, you're like, I was told, I was called. I'm doing what I was basically just, you know, talk about that in terms of, how do you know you're called to do something? You know what I mean? Whether it's real estate, whether it's open this business. And then how do you surrender to it? Like, how do you just say, okay, I'm be the vehicle that you use, or, you know what I mean? I'm going to steward this influence that you've given me. Like, how do you?
Yeah, that's tough. Cause it's probably going to be a little different for every person. For me, the epiphany was going from problem to solution so fast, going from panic attack to knowing I had now found this vehicle that I could use to put food on my family's table for the rest of my life was just such an I was just so overwhelmed. Like, I was like, I don't deserve this. Why me? Why? Like, I was terrified 90 days ago, and now that problem is solved. There's a host of other problems. Being an investor in a business. I'm not saying, look, it's all hunky-dory and perfect, but what I am saying is I have a skill set that I know I can use to feed my family for the rest of my life, right? Like, I know I can invest in real estate and make money, right? And that, like, and so you're asking what can other people, I would just think through those situations in your life, right? There's probably something in your life where you went from problem to solution so fast, and it wasn't you. You're like, it wasn't you, right? You didn't do that.
I got them every day. I get them moments all the time.
God winks, right? It's God winks. Right? So like, think through those God wink situations, those things where it's like, I don't know how the heck I got out of that, but I got out of that. Well, think through, how did you get out of that? What skills did you use? What doors opened up? Like, why did that happen for you? Like, dive into those situations a little deeper and figure out, like, you're right, because we're all given these gifts. I still don't quite know what my gift or ability is. But I know that when doors open that shouldn't have opened for me. And I know every time I've dove into, like, why did that door open? I've found a calling in it that I needed to pursue a little deeper, down to me being here in Northwest Arkansas. Like, yeah.
You mean you didn't pick this place on the map as a place that you want to?
No.
Sorry.
No. I'll try to make it as brief as possible. But like, before I moved here, I moved here to work for Walmart. Walmart recruited me to work here. And so as part of that process, they asked me, they let me fly out here ahead of my job to look for a place to live. And so they flew me out here, and then they let me stay for like a week to find a place to live. So that when I moved here, I didn't have to live in a hotel. I found a place. And so it was like 30 days prior to me starting my job, they flew me out here. So I flew out here. I'm looking at all these apartments and things to kind of set you up with somebody, kind of show you where to go look. And I narrowed it down to 2 places. One was an apartment in Springdale. One was an apartment in Rogers. And almost identical apartments, same amenities, same cost. And I didn't know which one to choose. Part of me wanted to live in Springdale because Walmart's so big here that, like, I didn't want to feel like I was at work when I wasn't at work. Like, I didn't want to walk into the grocery store in Bentonville and be like, oh, there's my boss. Right. So do I live further away and commute where I don't have to worry about that? Or do I live closer for convenience? And I was just torn between the decision. And I was looking at this apartment in Springdale for the second time that day. And the lady who showed me the apartment, I could tell she was annoyed because she was there for the second time, hadn't signed nothing. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw this plushie of a basketball. Now, this apartment was bleached clean. The literal bottle of bleach was in the sink. There was nothing in this apartment. It smelled like bleach. It had been cleaned, but for some reason, somebody forgot to pick up this little plushie of a basketball. And basketball's been such an important part of my life. Like I played semi-pro ball. Like,
oh, wow.
My whole life was basketball.
Yeah.
For most of my life. And so it was just like a basketball is so core to who I am. When I saw this plushie sitting there in this apartment, I was like, oh, this is God telling me.
This is it.
This is where I'm supposed to live. So I was like, this is it. I'll sign it. And she was like, you'll sign it? I was like, yeah, where's the paper? I signed it. I'm supposed to live here. So I'll live here. So I signed the lease and I move in. Fast forward to like a year later, I was living there, and I got myself into some trouble, and I prayed that God help me fix the situation, and it was almost like a light switch. Boom, problem solved. Right. A few months later, get myself into some trouble. First thing I do, pray, help me fix it. Boom, fixed it. And I just remember that second time, I was like, I'm selfish because I don't pray about nothing until I need some help. And then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, can you help me? And I'm like, I don't treat people like that. Why am I treating God like that? And so I just felt guilty. And so I was like, you know what? I need to obviously fix my relationship with God, because I can't just be going and praying when I need help. Like I got to hold up my end of the bargain, but I don't know what that looks like. And I'm in the middle of the Bible Belt, and walking into any church is scary. Right. Like, and so I was like, I don't know how to fix it. I just know I'll go to a church and I'll pray about it and we'll see what happens. And so I remember in that moment, I wrote down, I was like, this is because churches can be weird.
Absolutely.
I was like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write down 3 things that I know that I can't fix on my own, that I know I need help with from God. I'll just write those 3 things down. I'll go to the church that's literally across the street from my apartments. I'll just start there. It's right there. I can walk there. I'll just start there. I'll just go in there with these 3 things. And if it's weird, I'll just pray over these 3 things and I'll try again next week at another church. So I was like, we'll just start there. And so that was the plan I had. I wrote down my 3 things, put the paper in my pocket, walked over to the church on Sunday morning. And when the pastor started preaching, he said, we're starting a new sermon on miracles and how we can make miracles happen in our lives. God will perform miracles, but there are things that we can do to help.
There's the chills.
Here's what I want everybody to do. I'm passing out a piece of paper and a pen. I want everybody to write down 3 things they know they need help with, God's help with. 3 things. And we're going to pray over, we're going to pin them to this cross in the back of the church, and we're going to pray over them as a church. And the way started bawling.
Yeah.
I started bawling. I can't tell the story without crying every time. But like, it was that moment that I knew that like, I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I was supposed to come to Northwest Arkansas. I was supposed to live in this apartment so that on this day I could walk in this church and strengthen my relationship with God. So that's what it all came together for. So that's what really helped me start to be able to listen to like when God's tapping me on the shoulder, because I lost it. And my life changed from then. I gave my life to God. Not long after that, I was baptized in that church. It's just it all works together, man, because had I not moved here, had I not given my life to God, had I not changed, I wouldn't have been the man I needed to be when I met my wife, and I would have screwed it up. So all of it is for a reason. So the long-winded answer to your question is dive deeper into those situations where things just kind of fell into place. Try to figure out why they fell into place, listen to that voice, and try to do what that voice is telling you to do. And that probably sounds like a really kooky answer, but that's what I got for people, man.
I'm over here like, as you talk, I keep getting chills. Like I was, because it's I feel that on the soul level. Yeah. Now you gotta breathe. We just gotta let that, you know what I'm saying? Don't edit this out. Just let this breathe right now.
So,
for those of us who want to follow along with your journey, to go deeper with you, to attend. Earlier in the conversation, you mentioned a meetup or something that you do. Like, what's going on? That we got a couple minutes, but I want you to highlight where can we follow you? Where can we get involved in the courses? How can I come to a meetup?
Yeah.
What's next?
Best way is to follow me on Instagram. I'm at the Henry Washington on Instagram. I give lots of free information away on Instagram. If you want some more structured help, I'm actually hosting my very first conference this year.
Let's go.
That's the Road to the Closing Table Conference, Dallas, Texas, June 26th and 27th. You can go to www.roadtotheclosingtable.com, spelled all out, and you can register. The conference is different, though. I get the opportunity to speak at conferences all over the country. And so I've been to a million of them.
Yeah.
Spoken at a ton of them.
Yeah.
Typically what happens is somebody stands on a stage.
Yeah.
They tell you about how awesome they are, and they tell you about all the things you should be doing.
Very true.
And then they say, go do that thing. And then you leave so motivated, and then you get home and you realize no one showed me.
They didn't give me one action step. Right. Like, I don't know what to do.
Showed me how to do any of it. So I will not put on an event like that. My event, I call it an unconference. But what it is no speaker is allowed to stand on my stage and talk at you. Every speaker has to host a workshop where they give you real examples, where you actually do the work in the conference.
Oh my goodness.
Every speaker. There's no stage where people can talk at you. Every speaker is hosting a workshop. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to make a lot of friends who are titans in this industry who have agreed to come and host workshops. So it is a workshop conference. You will not leave motivated. You will leave equipped. You will leave equipped with real tools and real examples that you're going to be working through. So it's the Road to the Closing Table Unconference. And you can get tickets, www.roadtotheclosingtable.com. I encourage anybody who's genuinely curious about real estate, just come spend 2 days with me at this conference, and you will leave with tools to be able to do this on your own. I promise you that.
This is the first time I ever heard of a conference like this, ever.
Yeah. Promise you.
You giving them the keys right there, actual practical.
Right there. I want you to be able to leave and do this business on your own. If you want my help to coach you, yeah, you can come work with me and I'll coach you, but I'm not like you can come learn how to do it and go do it on your own from this conference. That's the goal of this conference, is to equip people to go do this business.
If this is a successful conference, people will be able to leave here and implement immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. You will get the skills at the conference.
One more time, Road to the Closing Table.
Roadtotheclosingtable.com.
Taylor Washington.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, man. This was fun.